am Gandalf the Grey, and this is our panel at Comic Con in Budapest, Hungary. Let me show you around what we have in a display. This is the deed that Bilbo signed when we went to the quest of Erebor with the dwarf. Ori, Nori, Dori, Bori, before, Filikili, Thorin, and yeah, that's about it. Now let's go around. This is the Lady Galadriel. I'm very fond of her, you know. She helped me in many things during my journey. This is the feel of Galadriel, and if I'm not mistaken, one of my dear guests, Frodo, used it once when he was in Shelob's lair. Yes. This is the axe of Gimli. Do you remember in Rivendell? When they all said, you can have my bow and my sword and my axe. John Rhys Davies said that, and he was here with us in the Budapest Comic Con 2 years ago. Now, from the Moria section, where we fought with, I fought with the Balrog, of course, and at the tomb of Balin, we had a great battle there. There was a cave troll even, and unfortunately, I lost my head there. And then we had to run to the bridge of Khazad-dû. But let's talk about a little happy things now, shall we? Let's go back to the Shire. This is the Shire section. Oh, and here's my pipe. I'm really fond of it, you know. Old Toby, the best in the South firing. This sword belongs to Strider, or as I would call him, Aragorn. This is the dagger which Bilbo carried. We found this together with my sword named Glamdring. This is Arwen's sword from the movie when he fought the ring wraiths, all the 9 of them, and therefore we were able to save Frodo and go to Rivendell. Now let's go back in time to the Second Age. All these what you can see, the Helm of Túrin, one of the great ships which goes to the west, and one of the battle-worn helm which worn by one of the elves during the last battle when the alliance, the last alliance of men and elves were fighting Sauron in the lands of Mordor, where the shadows lie. This is my sword, Glamdring. You know, this was forged in Gondolin in the Second Age, and it was carried by their king, Thingol. Oh yes, this is a magnificent sword, and later on I might have to use it. This is the sword of Strider, Aragorn's sword. Usually he carries a knife in there, you know, to make some fires, roast some bacon, and for other things. And this is the landmark of Rohan in the Third Age. Even in Edoras there was a big fight. And even bigger was in Helm's Deep, if you see in the back. I had to come at the first light on the 5th day, and dawn they had to look to the east. Now what we see here is the king of Rohan, Theoden King. And unfortunately the actor Bernard Hill died a few weeks ago, so this is how we remember him. Now we're carrying on, we're looking at the Argonath, which is the border to Gondor, and then we are moving to Gondor. This is all what the Strider's using. Even Boromir's stuff can be found here. We found it. Take a look of all his belongings and his brother's Faramir's sword as well. The great pipe, what the Dunedain Rangers they like to use, because just like me, they also like pipeweed. And now, this is Aragorn's sword, Andúril, Flame of the West, forged by the shards of Narsil, and this is what's written on it, on the roof. It says, Son es Anar, Nye Andúril, Mendelioni Elendil. I was once belonged to Elendil, you know. Forged as Narsil, and now we call it as Andúril, Flame of the West. And now let's move to the darker parts of the Middle-earth, to the east, where the shadow lies. You can see all the helmets, some of the maces, and even Isengard, where unfortunately I was a prison in Saruman's company. You know Saruman, he's the headmaster of the Istars, and unfortunately he turned sides and really wanted to become even one of the Lord of the Ring as well. This is the helm of Sauron. Sauron, the Dark Lord, who has only one purpose, to have the One Ring and to become the Lord of all of Middle-earth. Dark Lord, that we call him, or Sauron. He was once an even greater Maya soldier. His name was Molkor, or how we call it Mergoth, and Sauron was his captain. And now you can see some of the statues we have. My old friend Treebeard can be found here. He lives in Fangorn Forest, very close to Isengard. And here is Aragorn as he fighting in Weathertop with the Nazgûl. You can see the scene of Weathertop. Frodo has been hurted by one of the Nazgûl. It was the Witch King who stabbed him with his dagger. And next to it you can see the Witch King's helm, the Witch King of Angmar. And even next to it you can see Minas Ithil, which was used to be called the City of the Moon. The Witch King resided there, and unfortunately I had to fight him many times as well. This is one of the daggers that has been stabbed. Frodo has been stabbed with it by one of the Nazgûl. And also Barad-dûr, where the eye is always watchful. Bilbo, are you there? Bilbo? So this is what we have. We have back end here, as you can see, and also some of the main flags, including the prancing pony. You know, one of my favorites. The beer there is spectacular. And also, if you come further on, this is the gates of Moria, forged by Durin the First. This is what it says. This is the door of Durin, and it can be only opened with a password. It says, speak friend and enter. Now I know many passwords, of course, so let's see if it opens. I'm gonna tell them. Pedro Yemen. And Molosli. Pasto. It's not opening. I wish I would know what the answer is. Anyway, this is the volcano, Mount Doom. This is where Frodo and Sam had to carry the ring to put it inside. cast it back into the fire once it got forged. You can see them even now with Gollum, or as I would like to call him, Smeagol. During the last march of the alliance of men and elves, they fought together against Sauron and the slopes of Mount Doom, and this is how all the regalia looked like. The elves were spectacular in it. They were fancy fighters. Now we have the elves, but we still need the sons of Gondor. Would you like to join?